Since it's Christmas, I wanted to try a slightly different video and an idea I've been thinking about for a while. Why does programming make you feel like a hero? If you're not a programmer, you might want to consider having a go, because if you are a programmer, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. It's those specific moments when you finally solve a problem you've been working on for ages. It feels great to achieve something and make something that works that you've been working at for ages. But I think the reason it feels so great for some of us is more than just this basic sense of achievement. In fact, I think the reason is something that everyone is intimately familiar with in their daily lives. They might just not quite realize it. So, in order to answer this question, I think I need to tell you a story. Except this specific story is the most generic but important human story of all time. It is the story of the monomyth. The monomyth, perhaps more commonly known as the hero's journey, is a concept described by Joseph Campbell in his book The Hero with 1,000 Faces. The book is Campbell's attempt at trying to generalise the structure of hero stories from myths and legends, trying to identify the core commonalities between them. And he ended up doing a pretty damn good job. I think its popularity exploded after George Lucas cited it as a major inspiration for creating the story for Star Wars. And the idea can definitely be applied to so many of the stories that we see in modern media today. However, I think it extends much further than just the idea of storytelling, especially when it comes to us and our daily lives, so I wanted to just quickly run through the stages of the monomyth. Number 1, the story starts in the ordinary world of the hero's hometown. The hero fully understands this world and is generally bored of it. They want more from life and knows something out there is waiting for them. 2, the call to adventure. For whatever reason, the hero learns that they must leave behind the comfort of their known world and travel into the land of adventure and unknown. This is basically a catalyst that gets the story moving. 3, refusal. This is generally something that ties the hero to their old life. It can be a literal refusal where the hero doesn't want to go on the journey because they're scared or fearful, but it can take on a more metaphorical sense, for example the hero needing to look after an old relative or something. 4, meeting the mentor. A crucial point in the hero's story. They are in desperate need of guidance due to the conflict caused between the call to adventure and the refusal. The mentor can take many different forms, but it would generally just resolve the conflict and allow the hero to go on their adventure. 5, crossing the threshold. The hero is now ready for their adventure, even if they don't think they are themselves. They end up leaving their known world behind and cross over into the world of unknown. 6, tests, enemies and allies. Here, the hero has entered the land of the unknown. They know nothing about the rules of this land, and it is constantly throwing challenges at the hero that helps them to learn said rules. 7, approach to the Innermost cave. At this point in the story, the hero is getting closer to the most dangerous part of the unknown world. Everything here is about preparation and setting the hero up to face their ultimate challenge. 8, the Ordeal. Every test so far has been difficult for the hero, but they are now going to face their ultimate personal challenge. It is where they will reach their absolute lowest and be completely surrounded by darkness. If they are to overcome this ultimate test, something about the hero must fundamentally change if they are to keep on moving forwards. The hero must literally or metaphorically transform into something new at this point. 9, reward. All of the hard work by the hero should just be about to pay off. This is generally the thing that the hero has been fighting to get throughout the whole story, and getting this is vital for changing the outcome of the rest of the story. 10, the road back. The journey doesn't finish at the top of the mountain. The hero must still navigate their way back down the dangerous roads if they're ever going to return home. They now have to contend with the aftermath and the consequences of their actions that got their reward. 11, resurrection. This is the final test for the hero, where the villain gets one more attempt at trying to win. The hero will assert what they learn in the ordeal and finalize their transformation. 12, return with the Elixir. The hero returns home, but they are now completely transformed from when they left. The treasures and knowledge they have gained see that they are able to return home to a different but improved life. So, to link this back to my original question, I think you feel like a hero while you're programming because you're undergoing this monomyth or this hero's journey yourself. How many times have you undergone this exact same story format in your own life but without realizing it? Look, I'll give an example. 1. The story starting in a boring, ordinary world. This could be analogous to sticking to programming languages that you already know, or simply just sitting there procrastinating with the features and code that you've already implemented and not getting on with the next bits. It generally feels really stagnated. 2. The call to adventure. You realise that if you want to get anywhere, you're going to have to start implementing new code or features due to self-discipline or even just deadlines. The problem you can't ignore could be that there's an API or technology or a plugin out there that will solve your problems, you just don't know how to use it yet. 3. The refusal. You might put off learning this new technology because it looks really challenging to learn, or you might think you can rely on your existing knowledge to try and find a weird janky workaround. 4. Meeting the mentor. The mentor is Google. Google is the mentor. Or YouTube. Or Stack Overflow. 5. Crossing the threshold. You actually take the first steps towards learning this thing by watching tutorials or writing the hello world version of whatever it is you're trying to learn. 6. Tests, enemies and allies. You incrementally improve your skill at this new thing. You take step by step, solving problem after problem until you have a slightly better understanding of the new thing at each stage. 7. Approach to the Innermost cave. With all the learning and practice that's gone into place so far, you now attempt to solve the initial problem that was probably more complex that you wanted to solve in the first place. This could be that major feature of that system you wanted to build. 8. Ordeal. You make that first run at building the system you wanted to, or you get those features implemented for the first time. 9. Reward. You think you're done with implementing these new things and you go to test them. 10. The road back. You realise that you're not quite done because there's bugs and things that need fixing or maybe slightly refactoring, so you have to apply some more of that knowledge you know. 11. Resurrection. The features you wanted to add and implement are now fully working and you don't have any major problems with them anymore. 12. Return with the Elixir. With the new feature now working, you can release that patch to your player base that wanted to try it, or even just show it off to your friends. Perhaps your new insight and knowledge gained from this whole experience will let you implement a whole set of new features in a much more comfortable, relaxed way. And then in a lot of cases, you end up repeating this cycle when you have to learn the next new thing. However, if you never sit down and fully learn what it is that you have to learn, you're doomed to repeat this cycle and get stuck on the same problems over and over again, instead of being able to fully complete the cycle and move on to new, more interesting and different problems. Hopefully you can see what I'm trying to get at with this parallel I'm trying to draw. The stories we listen to and see all the time that follow this hero's journey are completely embedded into our psyche as humans. I think they represent that natural experience we feel every day when we are triumphant. And that can be with anything from even the smallest tasks to the long-term projects that we're working on. When we try to learn new things or acquire new skills, we are all undergoing this heroic transformation. And so when it comes to programming, it's something where we get to experience this heroic transformation over and over again because there's just so much for us to learn. We learn new skills and improve ourselves to become and transform into a better version of ourselves that is ultimately more knowledgeable and wiser. And I think it is exactly that is why programming makes us feel like heroes. This metaphor extends into so many areas of our life, and I think it's really interesting to think about. It sprang out to me particularly because I'm very familiar with programming at this point in my life, but I'm sure it extends to so many other things. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing as I really like making this content, as well as joining the Discord where you can just chat to me directly. I ask for suggestions on that Discord server for my game projects that I work on, and people give some really useful and interesting discussions and advice points. Follow me on Twitter, where I'm trying to be more frequent with my game updates as well. And until next time, goodbye.